pretty sure I'm the director. I'm the captain now. She's supposed to be looking free. This is how I'm gonna sit. This is a casual conversation. You go.
I want to focus on my relationships.
All right, so Lovin to 30. So, enhancing relationships, not necessarily romantic relationships, but you know what, family and friends. And I think a big one for me this year was focusing on my relationships that are genuine. Like one day I asked my mom who her best friends were, and she said, y'all, and I never really thought about, that my mom could be my best friend, but I was like, you know what? She's the one that I talk to every day. She's the one that, if I have an issue, I'm gonna go to her. I can joke with her. And it's really weird because she's my mom, but that does kind of happen.
Yeah.
You all, I share a lot with you all. I know that, if I need advice on something, y'all are gonna be real with me. I mean,
petty or non-petty?
Yeah. Petty. Still petty, but petty is gonna bring it
judgment.
up 6 months down the road.
Absolutely.
Might come up again.
Definitely gonna come up again. Not
I'm gonna say 5 years ago.
But I have friends that are significantly older than me. Just focusing on those real relationships that the people are gonna have your back, and just realizing that relationships change, and that's okay. There may be people that you used to talk to every day, and now you only see them once every day. I have my best friend since middle school. I still consider her my best friend. I talk to her, I check in once when I think about it. Hey girl, just checking on you, how you doing? And sometimes you have to let go of some relationships as well, no matter what type of relationship.
Or the way they were. You gotta let it grow with you.
Yeah.
So
and you have to be okay with that, and maybe have a conversation with that person if you feel like they're not understanding why you've been so distant.
And then,
so you've had, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish.
You feel like you've had a conversation with someone, or you just accepted it was and moved?
No, I had to. So as far as relationships, I give a lot to my friends, even to the ones that I know I have genuine relationships with.
Yeah.
So I decided to focus on the relationship with myself. And over this last year, I made sure that when I was making decisions regarding anything, going out or whatever, I made sure that I wanted to do. Yeah, so I definitely put myself first. So I think that it has been working. But I think that everyone should take time to make sure that they do that, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in pleasing other people, which is definitely my issue, that we do stuff even though we don't want to. Or we spend money and go places that we don't want to go to just because.
I do not have that issue.
So I think
I don't have that issue. I do not have that issue. I'm the opposite. I have to make sure I tell myself, okay, this is really a person that loves you and will do anything for you. You need to.
Yeah.
You need to give more of yourself. And I think a lot of it has to do with personal things that I've witnessed, not necessarily that have happened to me specifically, but just relationships that I've seen played out in front of me.
I feel like I'm more the way you are.
Definitely.
On this
These are my
because,
Virgos.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm the type of person who, I'd give, not necessarily my last time, but if I'm eating, you're eating.
Yeah.
If I have a couch, you have a place to stay. If I got clothes, that's just how I am with all the people who are close to me. And I definitely think I had a hard time. When I moved from DC to Baltimore, I was very sad a lot because I was just lonely. My boyfriend didn't live there. I didn't have any friends there. So very lonely. And it's when you're a person, I am a person who likes to go out. I am a person who likes to socialize. So I was like, man, I don't have any friends here. So first, in addition to figuring out how to prioritize myself, okay, do what you want to do, I also had to, get comfortable with knowing who I was, hanging out with who I was. And I found that when I did that, over this past year from 29 to 30, when I moved out from living with Lauren and Aaron moved back to Baltimore, not that we still live our separate lives, but she is my roommate, so I at least have a friend in my room. But I just, that's how I found my work friends, Tia and Jocelyn, and it was already now that I have my own, this is how I like to hang out, it was very easy to find a new friend and find people to be giving to, and they're super giving as well. So since I date your birthday twin, who I think is very similar to you in that regard. Not that I know that Brock loves me because he's still giving in his own way. That's what I'll say. I always know he's down. Like if I need him, he's gonna be there. I believe the same thing for you. Like I know you're down for your man, regardless of how that manifests. And so to me, if someone's already giving, like you can tell AJ's not doing that. It's not fake.
Yeah.
It has to be genuine.
Yeah.
Like I know he loves you, and I feel like whatever your intentions are will always show through, regardless. Especially when you're being honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna try and overstep what I do, but I can be more mindful. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best start, and it's also your truth.
Like we were out and AJ had a new outfit and I was like, oh, you got a new outfit? so I was on the phone with my mom and I forgot we were in like a store or something and somehow that conversation came back up. Oh, he said I didn't compliment his outfit. Somehow that came up and I was like, I did. I told you look nice today. He was like, no, you said you got a new outfit. My mom was like, that's her giving a compliment at work. But I was like, oh, in my head, I was like, oh, you look nice today.
Yeah.
But,
This,
you know, I just have to work. It's hard. I have to think about it,
the
really.
same exact conversation. I'll be like, you never told me I look nice. He'll be like, yeah. I said, oh, you got a new dress. And
Maybe it's a
I can take that either way. He's like, I brought it up. He's like, okay, thanks.
That I am dating one of my closest friends.
It's me. She's dating me. She's dating me. They love me.
So sometimes I have to go back and like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could just accept that because Amber does that all the time and she really loves me. So I'm just going to accept it. However, I do realize that, so I started reading the actual love language book. Only because I think that I know like what I like, but I can't like articulate it. So it's like I like quality time. Like I like to spend quality time, but you can't just tell somebody, oh well, spend time with me because that person made you sit on the couch, and that's not what I mean. You know. So I started
Because
reading.
that is quality time to me.
See, no.
I'm gonna fall asleep on your shoulder and we spend a quality time. It's not quality, it's just time.
Yes.
Oh dang.
No, quality time is like, you know, really enjoying the show that I put on for us and engaging. Be like, oh, and paying attention to.
I'm going to sleep.
Exactly. Or paying attention to you when I'm talking and feeling like I feel like you like listening to me. That's quality time.
Well, we're spending quality time right now. I'm really enjoying this. This is great.
Yes. So I started reading the book and I realized that it goes like not even for romantic, but just my relationships in general. So I feel like everyone should read this book, and this is a very short read. But that way you can. It made me realize a lot of relationships that I had previously. I'm like, oh, this makes more sense. No wonder that happened. Because that person wasn't showing me my love language or vice versa. So I think that's also good so that you can be aware of stuff. And then in the book, it talked about how people were like on the brink of like breaking up, but then they started practicing and like realizing, oh, this is why like what we feel like somebody's being ungrateful. It's just that they don't understand the way we're loving them. So
because we usually love people based on our own love.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we still can't change like who we are.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to change like how you are.
That wouldn't be genuine.
Exactly. So sometimes you have to explain that. Listen, when I say XYZ, it may sound like I'm rude, but that's actually a compliment coming from me. So it's also kind of like learning a personality, and that goes with like hanging out with people and dating people that really care about you, because they'll learn like y'all learn me by now. You think I'm rude, but I'm not. If I tell you look big, then that means I'm trying to look out for you.
But we had to work on how you said stuff too.
And I have been working on my presentation. I mean,
blunt.
Yes, work in person.
I try and add a smile to some of my comments.
You trying to LOL?
No, I definitely don't like add an LOL.
No, in real life. That's the smile.
Oh yeah, it is.
That shirt is not for you.
Okay, but to wrap up, seems like we know what we need to work on. Understanding the people that we love.
I have another question for you. So
Big
since
purpose,
you've
right.
been working on wrapping up, or not wrapping up, but I would say focusing on like your genuine relationships, family, friends, people you want to prioritize, what do either of you have any criteria or what you look at for people who you let in? Because personally, I'm at a point where I don't necessarily need a new
I'm
friend.
like no new friends.
So but that's not saying I'm blocking people, but is there anything, is there anything that like, I don't know, a new friend might enhance for you? Like, I'll give you my kind of answer to this and see if you have anything that you have an opinion on, but like, I know for my goals for 30, most of them have to do with like my career, my family. So I think it would be nice to have like more of a true mentor. Like, you seem like you have good career support.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when you started talking. I don't know. Are you finished? I don't.
That's along the lines of mine. So
But mine just came along with working at the same place for, I was in the classroom for 7 years. Then I applied for the dean position. So I already know the people on my administration team. We're
I think
friends
the
now.
Lord worked that out.
There's a text message group. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
And of course, it's different levels to every relationship. You know,
I had to learn that as well.
You work closer with some people you don't work so close with. So it's not like, and you don't have to. I don't think you have to call that like friend. So I like the word mentor that you use.
Yeah,
like,
or peer. Like, not necessarily your friend, but I think work relationships are
they're
really
very important. They're very important. I'm glad that I built relationships. Like, there was one specifically, someone I knew I was gonna have to work closely with, and at the beginning, I did not know how I felt about this person. I was like, no, this is not gonna work. Like, our personalities are gonna clash. And now it's like the total opposite. I mean, I've even texted her while I was here. Like, something reminded me of her, and I was like, hey, this reminded me of you, or whatever. And then, so going along with that, I will go back to like the relationships. I think you talk about closed out, and I was like, no new friends. Which on the surface, I am kind of like that, but I think you get attached to people who you probably shouldn't be so closed off, because it could blossom into something that you really need, and that you might not even know that you need.
And I actually learned that in college, because when I got to college, I'm like, I have the friends that I have. I don't want any new ones, but they were not in Orlando, so I had to be open to like forming new relationships. And honestly, my college friends are like my rock. So I'm happy that I was able to do that. But as far as like work goes, I have to be open to finding new friends, because I move every 3 to 6 months to do things with.
Finishing, and I'm gonna say I'm 15 to 30. She's carbon to 30.
But having people to do things with is fun. I mean, of course I can do things by myself, but I don't want to hike by myself. One, because I'm not a hiker.
And you might die. You need somebody to roll you back down.
Exactly. But you get to just like learn about different people, and those people have taught me a lot. Even I've only been traveling for a year, but I've learned so much.
Are you finished? Yes. So we're gonna switch up this wrap up to say be open. Keep your heart open.
Yeah, to new relationships.
But be careful as well.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's snakes out there.
Trust but verify. The
Trust but verify.
Trust your gut for sure.
Yes, yes.
Boundaries are so important.
That's what I need to work on.
Didn't even say
I
that.
definitely
I can help
on
you.
that. Yes,
Just
we know.
forward the text to me. I forward the response.
I have no boundaries.
No, I know how to say no. That's one thing I
have
am
no boundaries.
good at. If we have not talked about that already,
I don't even know.
I know how to say no. These two, they can't say no.
Even though I don't have boundaries in terms of what I allow people ask me to do, I can't say they don't know how I feel about doing it. Now, that doesn't mean I won't still do it. I think that's more my problem.
Yeah.
I don't say no. I'll be like, I really don't have time for this. I'm really annoyed that you're asking me to do this. I'm very frustrated. And then I still do it.
So you got to put the part down. Just, say.
I'm giving though. It
It's
hurts
hard.
me if someone wants something from me or needs. We'll use that loosely. But if someone asks me for something, it's hard for me to find a reason not to do it, because it's like clearly they know this is something I can do for them.
Yeah.
So it's like, why wouldn't I do that? I would want someone to do something for me, but it's like, do they always?
However,
no, because I don't have to ask people for other things, because I'm a very self-sufficient individual
Yes.
who can do anything I want for myself, but boundaries.
Boundaries.
That's where we are, and I think that's what I want to work on in this
Boundaries.
next.
Open heart, boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
know the love languages of the people in your circle. Just make sure you're operating out of those instead of your own love language.
Right.
I think that's good.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to take into this next decade.
Yes.
All right.